To me, a big part of being a great leader comes down to communication. And if you really want to build a healthy relationship, whether it's with your spouse, whether it's with your inner circle, or whether it's with your team, it comes down to communication. And there's three numbers that you need to think about if you want to be a master communicator. And it's 7, 38, 55. Now, I want to tell you the reason why those numbers are so important. But first, I think we all know that a big part of communication is delivery. It's nonverbal. And what those numbers mean is 7% is about what you say, 38% is about your tone of voice, and 55% is your body language. And to be completely transparent, a lot of us are married, and marriage is not easy. And you could tell anybody, or any person who's had a very healthy marriage, their core is communication. It's how they talk to each other. So if I'm sitting in front of my spouse and I know that immediately when we're trying to talk about something serious, their arms are folded, they're leaning back, or they're looking at their phone, all of their body language is telling me that they're not going to be into what I'm saying, and they're not going to receive any of it. 38%, of course, is your tone of voice. So if you're escalating your voice, naturally it's more intense. If you slow down, lower your voice, it shows that what you're saying is really important. Naturally, eye contact, all those other things. So the whole point of knowing those numbers is if you want your message to really land and be impactful, you got to remember 93% of it has nothing to do with your speech. It all comes down to tone and body language. So if you want to be a great leader and you're delivering that rah-rah speech to your team, or you're having that crucial conversation with an employee that you need to elevate because they're your right hand, there's a good chance that it might be delivery or tone. So I think that's one thing that everybody needs to look at, particularly like myself in my own house, on how I'm talking to my kids, how I'm delivering a particular message. So 7, 38, 55, if you want to be a master communicator. To me, in my mind, communication comes down to one thing, is building relationships. So if you're going to be a great communicator, right, let me rewind. The number one metric to really being happy and fulfilled is to have real fruitful relationships in your life. And you can't do that if you're not a great communicator. So if you're asking me, how is it going to make you great? Number one, if you're great at sales, right? I mean, if you're great communicating, there's a very good chance you're going to be great at sales. And at the end of the day, that is probably the most important skill you can have in business, period, is being able to close. So that's obvious, one. Number two, if you know how to communicate just like this, you're going to be you know how to persuade and influence. So as a leader, right, knowing I know how to read energy and give the right energy, that I have a huge advantage because I know how to read a room, right? Naturally, in your relationship, a lot of relationships, or even not just spouse, but teammates, or partners, it's because of broken communication. One person doesn't know how to communicate or is ignoring the whole, they're not aware. So those are three obvious ways, as a leader to galvanize a team, right? And obviously within your relationships, be it personal or business partnerships, it all comes down to that.